Everybody, and welcome back to Daily Red Devil. We have got so much to discuss on the show today. The transfer window is finally starting to pick up, but before we get into today's video, please do me a small favor. If you are watching the show for the first time today, please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and be sure to give the video a like. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this video this morning. So the plan for today, we're going to be talking about Benjamin Sesko to Manchester United, 80 million euros deal. I want to get your thoughts on this in the comments section now. Should Manchester United sign Benjamin Sesko for 80 million euros? We'll get a little poll going here now. So the question will be simple. Should United sign Sesko for 80 million euros? We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about Garnacho. Apparently, according to Mr. Fabrizio Romano, apparently Chelsea want to sign Garnacho. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about Mainoo, who apparently Tottenham are trying to sign. There's so much to get into today on the show, guys. But as always, get in the comments section right now and let me know your thoughts. Benjamin Sesko to Manchester United for 80 million euros. Would you do this deal? Let me know what you think. We'll start the show off there. So, the first talking point coming out from Mr. Fabrizio Romano himself is that apparently it is 50-50 tied between Manchester United and Newcastle United in relation to who's going to win the deal for Benjamin Sesko. So Fabrizio says this. He says Benjamin Sesko's chances of joining Manchester United or Newcastle are currently 50-50. He says the two clubs are in a fight currently to sign him, and this could be the story of the next few days. Okay. So, there's all these people who are saying, oh, we're not in for him, it's just paper talk. Fabrizio is literally saying today, or sorry, this was late last night, at about 11 p.m. last night, that it's 50-50, neck and neck between Manchester United and Newcastle United. This is exciting. This is the player that I want. I want Benjamin Sesko at Manchester United, and I think if we can get Benjamin Sesko through the door, I think it massively lifts us for next season. 22 years of age, one of the most exciting strikers in world football, I would say. Young strikers, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. One of the most exciting young strikers in world football. He's strong, he's physical, he's tall, he's good at headering. And I know people are like, what are you on about? But we don't really have that kind of presence in the box. Højlund's not good at headering. Xerxes not good at headering. Who else is there? I don't even know. There isn't anyone else. None of our attacking players are good at headering. But if you look at some of Benjamin Sesko's goals and some of the clips and stuff of him, he is an absolute menace in the box. And I think he'll be very, very effective in the Premier League. So I'm buzzing about this. And I think if we can get this deal over the line, it would be very, very impressive. And I think if Manchester United want him, he'll come. The story this morning is that apparently he wants to join Manchester United. He's picked Manchester United over Newcastle, and now it's just a case of effectively who's going to offer Leipzig the most amount of money. Now, in relation to the transfer fee, this is really, really important here. So this is coming out from Florian Plettenberg, who is the German Sky Sports journalist. He is, I would say he's a tier one source for the Bundesliga. He's not great outside of the Bundesliga, but he is reporting this morning that Benjamin Sesko is impressed by Manchester United's effort to sign him. He says the club have not given up on Benjamin Sesko. It says that Leipzig are demanding 80 million euros. 80 million euros is, I believe, I'm going to say 70 million pounds. Just under 70 million pounds. 69 million pounds. Now, I can see loads of people in my chat this morning saying, oh, this is stupid. How are we going to afford him? Remember, none of these transfers will be paid up front. It will be done over 4 or 5 years. So in this example, okay, I imagine it will probably be done over 4 at the least, 5 at the most. So let's just say for argument's sake that this will be done over 4 years. 4 years is only 17 million this summer. Marcus Rashford's wages were about 20 million. So there's all these people in the chat saying, like, how are we going to get the money? This is rubbish. This is, they're trying to give us false hope. I know what you mean. I understand your frustration, but we do have the money to do this deal. Marcus Rashford leaving Manchester United. Let me just double check what wages he was on. I believe it's around 20 million a year, Marcus Rashford. Let me just double check that so my facts are right. So Marcus Rashford is on 350,000 a year at Manchester United. which works out just under 20 million per season. So in this example, right, say Leipzig say we want it over 4 years. We might be able to get it over 5. I know that Mbumo is over 5 years. I think Cunha was over 3 maybe, but that was because he had a release clause, so it makes it a bit more complicated. But in this example, let's just say 4-year deal, as in 4 years to pay off the transfer fee. We'd only have to pay them 17 million this summer, which, like I just said, we've already recouped that money. Well, not recouped, but we're not going to have to pay Rashford this summer, right? Or this year. That's 20 million saved in the bank. Sancho will go. That's another 15 million saved in the bank. Lindelof left. He was on about 10 million a season. Eriksen was on about 10 million a season. So you can see where the money has come from. If you look at those 4 players alone, okay? Rashford, 20 million a season. Sancho, 15 million a season. Eriksen about 10, and Lindelof about 10. That's a lot of money. It's nearly £50 million in wages that we've saved. So, all these people saying, where are we going to get the money from? We don't have Champions League football. We still generate a lot of money. And although £69 million is a vast amount of money, don't get me wrong, because it will be paid in installments, the same as Mbumo, the same as Cunha, we haven't actually spent that much money this summer yet. So we're very much in this deal, and I think there's a strong chance we'll get him. The fact that he wants to join Manchester United, the fact that, between the two clubs, we're the more favourable option, even though we're not in the Champions League. I mean, it's not really surprising. We are one of, if not the biggest clubs in the world. Whereas, all due respect to Tottenham, to Newcastle, obviously they're a big club in England, but outside of England, like Newcastle aren't really a very big club, are they? Let's be real. So yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing about this, as you can probably tell. We need a striker. We've been crying out for a striker for God knows how long. And yeah, really, really excited about this one. Let's see what people are saying in the chat today. Just to be clear, this is coming out from Fabrizio Romano. This is coming out from Fabrizio. So this isn't coming out from some, journalist with 5 followers that no one's ever heard of. This is coming out from Fabrizio Romano saying that it's currently 50-50, neck and neck between Manchester United and RB Leipzig, Newcastle. Now, there is another story this morning, and I don't really know what this always means sometimes when stories like this come out, but it's saying that apparently Sesko has a gentleman's agreement. This is coming from Fabrizio as well, to be fair. He says that if Sesko tells Leipzig there's a club he would like to leave to, a special club, there's a gentleman's agreement between them to make the price drop to 70 to 80 million euros with 5 to 10 million in add-ons. So that would be 60 to 70 million pounds with about roughly 5 to 7 million in add-ons. So it would be 60 million plus add-ons pounds. I mean, it's sounding better and better by the minute, I think. So yeah, hopefully we can get this one done. Obviously, there's also the chance of Anthony going to Al Nassr as well, remember. So you can see where the money's going to come from. Rashford's gone. Sancho's on the way out. I know it doesn't feel like Sancho's on the way out, but he is on the way out. He will leave Manchester United. Obviously, so Rashford's gone. Johnny Evans has gone. Lindelof's gone. Eriksen's gone. Obviously, we got some money from Elanga going to Newcastle. We got some money from... what's he called? Alvaro Fernandez going to Real Madrid. There was a couple of other smaller deals that happened as well, which we benefited from. And obviously now if Anthony goes, apparently 50 million is the asking price. Sancho's going to go. We'll probably get, I would say, 10 to 20 million for Sancho, pounds. Garnacho's probably going to leave. That will probably get us another 40 to 50 million pounds. So you can see where the money's going to come from. And obviously the fact that we've got rid of players on high wages, the fact that Rashford's gone, 20 million a year saved in wages. Sancho will go, that's another 15 million. You can see where these funds are coming from. And I think if we can reinvest that money into a top striker like Benjamin Sesko, 22 years of age, he's got his whole career ahead of him. I think it's great. And now there will be some people saying, is he experienced enough? Is he another Rasmus Højlund? I don't agree with that, to be honest. I think Benjamin Sesko's been around for a lot longer. You know, he's been playing in top leagues for a lot longer. Obviously, he's been in the Bundesliga for the last 2 years, I think. Yeah, he's got 19 goals and assists in 33 games last season. So he averaged more than a goal or an assist every other game, that's a decent return for a 22-year-old. He got 4 goals in the Champions League last season. So yeah, I mean, he's doing very, very well. And then if you go back to his stats at RB Salzburg, he was absolutely phenomenal. But again, that's maybe a slightly lesser league than, it is a lesser league than the Bundesliga, in it. So, yeah, but I'm really, really excited about this one. What does everyone think in the comments section? We've got a super chat coming in from Ray. Thank you, Ray. Ray says, I would go for Sesko because after that, what else is there? That's a fair point. He says that Sesko's fallen on our lap. And he says that they failed in signing another striker, so they must move for Sesko. Mate, I 100% agree with you. 100%. Now, there'll be some people saying, oh, why did we not get Gyökeres? Why did we not get Osimhen? Why did we not do this? Why did we not do that? And I get that. I understand your frustration. It is frustrating. But at the same time, maybe we didn't want Gyökeres. Gyökeres is 27 years of age. Maybe they didn't want to pay that amount of money for a 27-year-old. We know that Arsenal, we know that Ineos have an obsession, right? Have an obsession with younger players. And realistically, Gyökeres is not a young player. He's in his prime, but he's not young. He's 27, okay? And for whatever reason, Manchester United are absolutely obsessed with signing players in their early 20s. And I say for whatever reason, it is quite obvious why. They want to sign players who they can bring in, develop, and then in a few years, they have a resale value. So like Lenny Yoro, okay? If he continues on the trajectory he's on at the moment, in a couple of years' time, you never know, Real Madrid might come knocking and offer us 100 million for him, you know? That's kind of the logic, I think. But they bring in these young players who have high potential. They sign them for big amounts of money, but if Lenny Yoro becomes the best centre back in the world, he'll be worth 100 million, and we paid 50 million for him. If Benjamin Sesko comes in and does an Isak, in a few years' time, he'll be worth 150 million, like Isak is. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the same kind of logic where you bring in these young players. I mean, how old's Isak now? Isak is 25. It's exactly the same. So Newcastle signed Alexander Isak when he was 22 from a lesser league. He comes to the Premier League. They signed him for 70 million euros, which is the same amount as what Benjamin Sesko was. They signed him 3 years ago at the age of 22, right? Now Liverpool are trying to sign him for 150 million pounds. So if Newcastle manage to sell him, they'll make about 100 million pound profit from Isak. It's a similar kind of example, isn't it? Now, obviously, there's no guarantee that Benjamin Sesko turns into the next Alexander Isak, but it's the same kind of formula, isn't it? You buy a player who's 21, 22, with massive potential, bring them in from a lesser league where they've done really well, hopefully develop them, and then in 2 or 3 years, they might be worth 150 million, like Alexander Isak is now. So it makes a lot of sense. I get it. And you're not going to do that with Gyökeres. Gyökeres comes to Manchester United on a 5-year deal. By the time his deal ends, he's 32, 33, and he probably leaves for free, So I understand it. They're thinking of long-term. They're thinking of resale values. They're thinking of how can we make as much money as possible. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that because in the past, we went for short-term. We brought in people like Cavani. We brought in people like Ronaldo again. Obviously, that was great. I loved Cavani at Manchester United. I loved Ronaldo at Manchester United, Falcao at Manchester United. These are all legends of the game. But we signed all these players realistically in the twilights of their career, didn't we? It's not like we brought in Cavani when he was in his prime. We brought him in when he was, in his 30s. We brought Falcao in his 30s. We brought Ronaldo in, at the end, not the end of his career because he's still playing now, but you know what I mean? Like, we brought Ronaldo in towards the twilight of his career again. Whereas Benjamin Sesko is very much the opposite of that. He's at the beginning of his career. He has his whole career ahead of him. So, yeah, really, really excited. Do you know what's really, really interesting as well, actually? I'm just looking at Isak's stats before he joined Newcastle. So, yeah, they were very similar to Benjamin Sesko's by way of goals. So I think they are looking at Benjamin Sesko as a similar model in the sense that Alexander Isak was scoring about the same amount of goals in La Liga before he got his move to Newcastle. And you've seen what Isak's done now. You've seen how much Isak's worth now. He's worth what? 150 million is being spoke about. Liverpool going to submit a bid of 150 million. I mean, it's mental, isn't it? They signed him for 60 3 years ago, and now he's apparently worth 150 million. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I just hope that we get this deal done. I think it would be an absolutely phenomenal signing. I'm not sure. The one thing I'm not sure about, right, is... Let's have a look. I'm hoping that he's been part of their pre-season. Let's have a look if we can find out. Because my only kind of minor complaint... I'm just going to check now, everyone. My only minor complaint would be that because we've left it late, if he's not fit, then what happens then? But... I'm not sure. I'm trying to find out if he's been playing in their pre-season games. If anyone knows in the chat, please do let me know. I think it's quite important, this, actually. Quite an important detail. But yeah, if anybody knows the answer to this question, I assume he has been training and, you know, been part of first-team training. I don't know why he wouldn't be. There's no reason why he wouldn't have been in training. But you got to think Gyökeres literally was refusing to train. I can't find the answer. They played a couple of pre-season games, but it doesn't look like the lineup was released. But I imagine he has been training, right? Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, you know, I'm hoping that he's ready to kind of hit the ground running immediately. But if he's been training, if he's been part of the first team, then there's no reason why... Oh, here we go. I can't see... Yeah, I don't know. I can't see that he scored in any of these games. He didn't start. Oh, no, I can see pictures of him. He was there. Yeah, so he has been training. He's there. That's all I wanted to find out is he training? Is he, like, refusing to train? What's exactly going on? But it looks like he has been training. He has been playing in the preseason games. So, effectively, he will be fit and he will be ready to go. Because that was my only kind of minor fear, if you like, was that... yeah, there you go. Someone says he played in the 7-0 win. There you go. That's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to gauge whether he would actually be ready to start playing football immediately or whether we'd have to like slowly bring him back in. And then kind of like with Ugarte, we brought him in at the end of the window and then he wasn't available to play till for a month after, was he? Because he wasn't fit. But it looks like Benjamin Sesko is ready to go. So he could literally come in. I think we're back from pre-season in maybe like a week. Come in, straight into training. There may be some other pre-season games before the beginning of the season. So we've got... Let's have a look. So we play Bournemouth on Thursday. And then we play Everton on Sunday. And then we fly back probably on Monday morning, this Monday. And then we play Fiorentina. And then the season starts the week after. So, you know, if we could get him in before that Fiorentina game, get some minutes under his belt against Fiorentina at home in that pre-season friendly, that would be amazing. I'm gassed. I'm so excited about this. As you can probably tell, I've been screaming for a striker for so long. So long. The striker was the number one position for me last year, this time last summer, and we didn't get it. We got Xerxes, who's not really a striker, is he? So, yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing about this, guys. I really, really want him. Hopefully we can get it over the line. Hopefully, yeah, let's just keep our fingers crossed, everybody. If we can, bring him in. But, yeah, I'm just thinking if there's anything else to chat about. God, there's loads of stuff to chat about. Right, let's move on to Garnacho. So, Garnacho. Fabrizio Romano is reporting this morning that apparently Chelsea want to sign both Garnacho and Xavi Simons. Incredible. We just need to sell Garnacho. It's as simple as that. I don't really have much to say on this topic. I'm not really that excited about it. I think if we can get 40, 50 million for Garnacho, I'll be very happy. My gut instinct is telling me that Garnacho is waiting for the window to get to the end so he can try and leave for less, if that makes sense. Like at the moment, Manchester United are probably saying 50 to 70 million euros, I would say. But yeah, we just need to get rid of Garnacho. It's as simple as that. I'm going to do a poll, actually, because I can see a couple of people in the chat saying, like, what about Ollie Watkins? All right, let's do a poll. Let's do this. Who would you rather? Let's do this. This is a good question. Ollie Watkins. What's the other one? Benjamin Sesko. All right, there you go. All right, you can get involved in that chat. Who would you rather, Ollie Watkins or Benjamin Sesko? Because I can see Jack has said, would Ollie Watkins not be cheaper? I don't think so, to be honest, Jack. I think they'd be about the same from what I'm seeing. So just to give a bit of context, Fabrizio was saying that apparently Sesko has a gentleman's agreement with Leipzig for 70 million euros. Okay? 70 million euros is 60 million pounds. 60 million pounds is the asking price for Ollie Watkins. So I think it will be about the same. And obviously one of them's 22 and one of them's 30. Obviously one of them's Premier League proven, I get that, but Ollie Watkins feels more like it's a short-term signing, isn't it? He'd be here for a few years and then yeah, I mean, what do we do after that? Then we have to go and spend another 60 million on another striker. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, for me, it's 100% Sesko over Ollie Watkins. I would take Watkins as well, though. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely take Watkins, but if I had to pick between the two, I would go with Benjamin Sesko, definitely. Jack says, would you get rid of Ahmad? No, definitely not, mate. He's probably like one of the few players I would keep. He's one of the few exciting players we have. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't get rid of Ahmad, no. There is a little bit of an update here as well. This is from Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic this morning. He's reporting that Manchester United have narrowed their striker search down to either Ollie Watkins or Benjamin Sesko. He says Manchester United are in touch with both players to figure out the suitability plus cost. He says that Nicholas Jackson has now been ruled out due to Chelsea's demands. Yes. We can rejoice. We can rejoice, chat. Do you want me to read that again? Nicholas Jackson ruled out of Manchester United deal due to Chelsea's demands. God, that's nice. That is nice. That's what we want to hear. So yeah, this is on The Athletic. It's literally just been reported in the last couple of minutes that Manchester United are currently deciding whether to go for Ollie Watkins or Benjamin Sesko. Nicholas Jackson is off the table. No Nicholas Jackson. Any news on Shaw leaving? I can't see Luke Shaw going anywhere, mate. I think the likelihood of Luke Shaw leaving is small. He's on, I think, nearly 150, 200k a week. He doesn't really do anything. How old is he? He's 30 years old now, Luke Shaw. That's mad, isn't it? Let's have a look. What's he on? Luke Shaw currently earns at Manchester United 150 grand a week. And he's got 2 years left on his deal. You never know, right? Luke Shaw might have a world-class season this year. He always wants to get in that England squad. And it's obviously... it's the World Cup this year, right? Is it World Cup 2026? Yeah. So, who knows? I mean, it's a big year, though, for people like Mainoo. These players who are kind of on the cusp of the first team. What are they going to do? Same with Garnacho. If he wants to be in that Argentinian squad, you know, he's going to need to play. And obviously at Manchester United, he's probably not going to anymore. So, yeah, it's all a bit of a mad situation, to be fair, with this whole thing. But anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It's been a very, very good stream this morning. Really, really excited about this Benjamin Sesko deal. Obviously, I will keep you updated. Hopefully, we get this one over the line. Please do make sure to drop a like before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And yeah, once the video's gone live, everybody, get in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on Benjamin Sesko. I'm really interested to read through some of your comments. Have a good day, everybody. I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.